Peace to the gods and earth. It's the God born Bill
You're
Universal,
my
transmitter
hero.
supreme science on earth and the universe. And this is I God TV. And of course, I'm back in the house with the big Auggie.
Auggie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another episode of Auggie and
Yeah,
Auggivelli.
boy.
You know what I mean? I want to thank everybody that's been tapping into the channel, going to the playlist. We a year strong. You know, February 6th was a year strong. You know, I want to thank everybody that tapped into the first episode of the year, man. It's going good. It's doing great numbers, you know, and mostly, you know, the reception from it. You know, we got people in the comments, you know, we got people watching, and hopefully they spreading the conversation, you know, so we can start trying to tap into these things and find these remedies, you know what I mean, to know to how we operate, you know what I mean? And speaking of remedies, man, a lot of people always wonder, you know, what type of avenues I go into when it comes to study and other things like that. You know what I mean? Well, there's a famous book, you know, it's called the Egyptian Book of the Dead, but it's the Per M. Heru, all right? Just the full version of it, okay? Not just the Book of the Dead, it's the full version, all right? Now, in
You're
this,
my
you get
hero.
comedic studies of yoga. You know, well, let me put it like this. You'll see a parallel between Buddhism and Egyptian or Kemetism, you know, Kemetic wisdom, and how they come together, and actually how at that same time they were running parallel at the same time doing a lot of the same exact things. You know what I mean? So this is one book. Make sure you go get the Per M. Heru, not just the Book of the Dead. You know, get the whole thing. You know what I mean? So that's just a little insight. You know, I'm gonna start here and there. I tap in, let y'all get a little bit of wisdom, and put a little literature out there, man, to bring up the literacy in the family, man, so we can start doing our own research. You know what I mean? Getting into things and seeing it how we seeing it how we should see it, you know, and how it should go. You know what I mean? And before we get started, I just want to say, what's up with the Auggie, man? How you feeling, man?
Hey, come on, man. Hey, after that beautiful intro, and you drop jewels on the babies, like, you know what I'm saying, so they can do their own research. Come on, I'm nothing but ultra Auggie right now. Auggie is, I'm ultra right now. Hey, I've been saying G shit, so I'm cool like Keith right now. I'm ultra magnetic like the MC, yo. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Word. Word, man. Hey, we had a good episode. The last joint went great.
Okay. I mean, you know, hey, all we could do, like what you said, and I was thinking about when you said our birthday, right? Our
Yeah.
born date was two. What was it? Two what?
2/6/2022.
2/6/2022. Oh shit! Right.
That was when we did
So,
the first. That's when we did the first Auggie and Auggivelli episode.
So let's do the math on that. You right?
Yeah.
So let's do the big math. That's build and destroy, right? So if we came here to build and destroy, we came here to keep the balance. Which you know, to those that don't know, the Auggie is a leader. You know what I'm saying? The room with the Aquarian. You know what I'm saying? We gonna keep the water, but keep it balanced. It's fair and balanced, you know, covered on this, you know what I'm saying, what we doing.
That's right.
I'm just saying. And then hold up. Now let's just put it all together. Because you know what I'm saying, we went to 8, right? The 4, right?
Yep.
And 4 what? The understanding. Yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
what we can do is bring forth, you know what I'm saying? We're going to build and destroy all the bullshit. We're going to build the dope shit, destroy all the bullshit. You feel me? And then in the end, we all going to have an understanding. And that's what iGod TV is about. And you know what I'm saying? Of course, we got the Universal Born Bill, you know what I mean? Which is the Auggivellian. You know what I mean?
Peace.
Who shouldn't to, you know, give you all these things. And we're going to start building, you know, of course, we got the Grandmasters and Master Teachers. iGod TV is a network.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And I ain't going to lie, from here on out, I think you should just give them a tidbit of something that if they choose to dabble and read and, you know, unlock things, let's, you know what I'm saying, give them visual, and that'll be our intro. Because we're gonna drop jewels for you to your homework. We're gonna give you the homework before we even get the lesson.
Right. You know what? And speaking of the intro, man, for everybody that's, you know, of course, you know, shout out to Track Vision for doing the visuals and all that, man. But all the audio soundtracks and things you've been hearing behind the intros, the lives, and the reels, and everything you've been hearing, man, is all straight from the Auggie. You know what I mean? So shout out to the Auggie for keeping the playlist funky. You know what I mean? And
yeah, boy.
You know, bringing life to the words. You know what I mean, and to the whole vision of the things, man. So big shout outs. You know what I mean? But we here once again, man, family. So you know when we tap it back in, we gotta discuss. We gotta sit the hood back down. You know what I mean? We gotta sit the matrix back down and sit back at the table, man, and see what's going on right now. You know, things been getting real spooky. You know, and it seems like it seems like certain people are trying to elevate the intensity, you know, to a certain situation, man, and you know, not just dealing with that situation. You know, we like to pertain it to what we have going on in situations that we might be in. You know what I mean? To where we might be able to see our ways through. You know what I mean? And before we tap into that directly, I want to give y'all a little something about what we're talking about, and which is going to set the tone and the narrative to where we're going with this discussion tonight. You know what I mean? And it's necessarily about OGs and the connection between OGs and the up and coming men in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? And the connection between them. What's the message between them? What's the dialogue, if any, between them all? You know, and how we can take it to a level to where we all can be in agreement to try to elevate our local areas and our environments. You know what I mean, Auggie?
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie, man. This is actually, I think, our most important video that we gonna do for 2023.
Right.
I think this go right here.
Right.
Done with this is gonna set a tone and a bar and a balance for the rules and etiquette of what is. I mean, you know, and it's not an OG.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Age don't make you the OG. I mean, it just.
First off,
we gonna go into it. We gonna
right.
go into
First
it.
off, yeah, it's experience, not necessarily age, right?
Mm-hmm. And experience as well as adornment.
Right. Right. Now, before we get started, I want to share my screen real quick with you, Auggie, and the family. You know, and we want to talk about exactly what we're talking about. But I'm going to tap into one of the plus lessons from the gods. I'm going to tap into one of the plus lessons, and we're going to go over it, and we're going to discuss that into what we're talking about, okay?
Oh, man, come on, man. Hey,
shout out to the brother. Shout out to the God. Shout out to the God and the Grandmaster, Brother Melchizedek. You know what I mean? This coming straight from Brother Melchizedek. Shout out to him. I study all his lectures and everything. You know, anything he does, I'm right on it, man. So let me share my screen. Okay, here we go. Can you see that?
Yeah. I mean, it's
okay.
It's Cat can see it though.
Yeah, they should be able to see it a little bigger on the screen. Maybe on your phone, it might be a little smaller. Well, anyway, right here is questions and answers. You know what I mean? And that's really, to those who are new to this, this is kind of how it goes with the 5% Nation. There's questions and answers, you know what I mean, in the midst of a lot of the study. You know what I mean? And one of the questions is this, okay? If you can see the mouse, it's right here. I'll underline it on the screen. Where is the wisdom and light that is so needed? Okay, so they're asking the question of, they're discussing about, you know, dark times and evil ways and things that go on through the generations. So they're asking, okay, so where is the light and the wisdom now, right? Where are the angels and the spirits that came out and saved people from the lion's den, or brought Elijah out of the mountain, out of the cave? You know, where are these experiences? Where are these experiences that we've heard about in the past, you know, to where we can elevate now, right? And the answer is this, is what everybody, I want them to see this. This is the answer. This is the answer from the master. May Allah be pleased. There is no more light to be given. It is incumbent upon each individual to find and search for what he or she does not have, for surely the time is not far off. Okay? Okay? So when they're saying it is incumbent upon each individual to find and search for what he or she does not have. Okay. Now that's the whole science of God and goddess, soul controller. Okay. Things like that. There was a time to where everything was, the whole universe was completely involved in our lives. Okay. And then there came a time where they talk about a great war. Well, we're not going to go too deep into religion because this is about the Matrix, but there was a time where there was a disagreement. And from that time on, we put the power was separated amongst the people, and we were to live on from that day and create our culture as we see it. You know what I'm saying? Peace to the gods. You know what I mean? But with that being said, you know, I say that to say this, family. I'm saying that to say this. It's in our hands to make the changes that we feel like that need to be made. Okay? The action is done by us. We are the ones to put in the action. Okay? When we look for other things to step in and intermediate or mediate and pull us out of the storm, we just saw right there, those days are over. You know, these are the times where unity is what gets you through to towards elevation, just so to speak, to any higher level, to where you need to take yourself and your community. It's going to take that unity along with it. You get what I'm saying, family? And advanced, I don't care how advanced you feel like you are personally, it means nothing if you continue to have to step out your front door to chaos.
Hey, that was very eloquently said.
Okay, because then that turns into a form of insanity to you, because you had peace in your chambers. Then when you come out, you're surrounded by the chaos. That could either turn you into a hermit or turn you into one of them people that just, going around just chopping devil's heads off recklessly. You know what I mean?
Hey, or easy combination of both.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Auggie. Now, yeah, I wanted to ask you, man. Now, first of all, what did you think about the plus degree? Give us your thoughts on the plus degree.
Well, the plus degree, just to put it simply to the lay person, is really just telling you that there is nobody coming to save you. You are the self-savior. You know what I mean? Anything that in your circumference, in your path, in your movie, if you will, you have to overcome these joints. Nobody's coming with a cape. Nobody's coming to save the day. You know what I'm saying? That's some TV movie shit. You know what I mean? You gotta yourself with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what you're dealing with in your situation as you're dealing with it, and then you deal with it accordingly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because let's say you were dropped off in the middle of nowhere, and you had to sit back and forge alliances. You had to make sure you was good.
You did.
Or you gonna sit back shivering somewhere, just dead by a rock or some shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Survival is the first law of self-preservation.
Exactly.
Right. So with that being said, your brain gonna activate on how to survive, even to the most root shot of it, if you will, to your most bestial form. If you want to live, you're gonna live. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So with that degree, what you're telling you is, regardless of whom or what, if you ain't here, your movie is over. So you must do everything in your power to fortify yourself, because you only got you. When you wake up, it's your movie. It's basically saying it's your movie. Yeah. So, if you want somebody to star in your movie, then that means you the co-star of your own movie. So, you just gonna get your life away. You're the masochist. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You just want to just be somebody's slave.
And you know what? You know what else? You know what else on another note, God?
Peace.
Who else should get you out of anything that any web that you sold yourself anyway?
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? That if you're looking at that message, pardon me. If you're looking at that message on another level, it's kind of like, hey, look, these are the times where we're on our own, where those spirits ain't necessarily out in the open like they used to be. So that means we're weaving our own culture through the hands of time. You know what I mean? So it's like,
right.
if that gets all tangled up and you get caught up in the web or in the thorn bush, you know,
Basically, as you
who
said,
necessarily
who
should come
walked
save
you
you
into that?
out of your own demise, out of your own wrongdoing,
Well, you know what that basically is like the drowning man. You feel me?
Yep.
Do you say drowning man?
Some shit you got to just figure out yourself.
Well, no, when I say that, I mean this. The drowning man is the metaphor of exactly what we're talking about. See, if you don't put yourself out, say you're the drowning man, right? And you over there drowning, you flopping around, and you being all chaotic. See, the lifeguard ain't gonna come fuck with you because they know that if you ain't in a calm state, you're gonna take him down with you, and he's gonna, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So as you being the drowning man, you have to calm yourself down, and you have to sit back and look at how did you get these fathoms deep? Who put you there? It was all your decision, and you can't blame anybody for for anything that happened to you because you allowed it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And at any point, no matter how you felt about it, you could have said no. You could have rebelled. I don't care if you were scared or, you know what I mean? But you could have said no. That's what your heart was saying. But some motherfuckers excuse my language. Some people are pansy in their own soul. They don't know themselves and they don't know the power they hold, so they succumb to the demons, the four devils.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the devils that carry them in their own souls walking around this place.
Right, and that goes right back into the theory of what we talk about the whole matrix thing. The environmental matrix is all about keeping you so focused and locked in on the zombified machine of waking up, working, paying your bills, eating, sleeping, take a shower, go home, go to bed. There ain't no time to even focus or even allow that other type of energy even come in.
Right.
So even if the spirits did want to try to come out and contact you, you in such a sleep now to even see it, you'd probably try to destroy it.
So think about it like this. It's just an analogy. They put an alternator on Cat's third eye seeing. On their all eye being. You know what I mean? They put an alternator on Cat, and you can't tell nobody nothing because everybody, for some reason, wants to be on defense, like they can't learn from someone that might be something that is just a little bit above what you know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because hold up, and then I make this shit. The super grandmaster only really cats on the shoulder, and put them up under the deodorant and give them that whoop 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 because they see, you know what I'm saying? They see them and you, and that's the A life to be like and see life.
Right.
But as we walk around here, each one teach one, right?
Yes.
That's supposed to be, but it's not that. And then we all talk about when black people come together and we need to do this. But what is you doing to knit the fabric back?
Yeah, but you know what their slogan is now, right, God?
What's that? What, I mean, they got so many fucking slogans.
The game is to be sold, not to be told.
I mean, see, now we back to the blaxploitation.
So you just went from each one teach one, which was the original way that we would spread the wisdom through our community and we would see things evolve. Ownership, unity, all of that, family structure, all of that. Once it became the game is to be sold, not to be told. Now it's like, well, if I get it, you'd be lucky to hear it, and if I decide to give it to you, it's gonna cost you. If I'm gonna show you how to get up out the matrix, it's gonna cost you something.
I mean, yeah.
So that just answered your question right there. That just answered your question, is what I would say. I was just answering your question. You know, when we look at it like, okay, we was on that each one teach one. Now they got it on this whole thing. They not living on that level no more. It's because the whole narrative done changed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're taking a look at it that way.
I think that takes us back to the topic of our whole joint. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The OGs.
Mm-hmm. OGs or OGs? Hey, OGs or OGs?
I mean, hey, guess what? Nowadays, you know what I'm saying? You gotta sit back and get your thesaurus for that one. You know what I mean?
Y'all really looking a lot like OGs right now. All right.
Yeah, man, like, gee, hey, guess what? They ain't finna misrepresent. You see these right here? I don't care that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? God is actually building destroy this year. Right now. Right now, I'm building destroy right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
In my physical degree. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We can what they call over the hill, so you can dip.
But I feel you on that though. I feel you on that though, God. You know, at the end of the day, it's like, nah, the reason we doing this whole episode right here tonight is for y'all to know, like, look, nah, we not gonna let y'all just trample over the whole OG legacy and stamp, because it's real brothers out here that plant real seeds and really have real love and compassion for their brothers and sisters, you know?
Yeah. Man, look. The reason why you have any type of gang activity is because an OG way back when set a precedent of conduct and behavior, right?
Right.
And those that followed that conduct, code, and behavior became comrades in a system or a family or whatever you want to call it, a community, right? Yeah. And they did what they did. Now, on flip, it was still conduct, code, and behavior. We act like this, and you know, you better not be on the street representing what we said we sat down to be.
Facts.
Which was positive, which was, you know what I mean? And because everything starts off positive until, you know what I'm saying, you get the infiltrators, you get the little poison dart. Everybody in the secret agent for the all, you know what I'm saying, for the Auggie, for the, you know, the all the is, the universe, whatever you want to call it, the great scheme. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Some cats don't got soul, they just in flesh suits. Some cats just spirited. They're high spirited, but they ain't got no soul. And like Chuck D said, who stole the soul? That's why niggas is all in dark places. You know, man, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, meaning all the creativity and the culture and everything you possess, you turn over to them.
I got I'm saying with that right there, I gotta give Cass this one right now. Fine. I gotta throw him the flag, yo. Now for the next 90 seconds, I'm gonna talk under the flag of what we representing, and this is what iGuard TV is about. Cause we ain't about that sensationalism journal. You know what I mean? We ain't about that BS, man. What we about is trying to break this stuff down. We rocking in a metaphysical form where everybody can see what's going on and use it for your stuff. We ain't have no opinion on this because we don't really. I mean, I know that Auggivelli will agree that we don't care about what nobody thinks about what's going on, but at least look at it from a lens that you ain't a part of the herd of sheep that's going to the slaughter.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is for the day, for real. The streets are a mess. You know what I'm saying? We don't give the esoteric lessons and stuff like that. For those that want to go on that path, this is some study material. It's going to help you on your journey. You know what I mean? Because as far as, when the Auggivelli said, when the Grand Master said, it's other people that saying the same stuff. So you got to do the math. If everybody's saying the same thing,
and you did. I mean, the Auggie did ask. The Auggie did ask anybody who thought the streets weren't a myth, you know, to put in the comments, and we appreciate the people who did step up and put in the comments and speak their opinion. We appreciate it. We welcome it. You know what I mean? And we can definitely get dialogue and get things going. But at the end of the day, it's like, show us the real benefits. You know what I'm saying? You might hear Lil Durk talking about they say street, they say you don't win if you in the street, but he's street and he winning. It's like, is you really winning? Vaughn out of here, King Von dead. I mean, come on, man. I mean, we ain't gonna get into all that, man. But come on, show me the real success.
No, the reason why I say that is because who raised you, like T.K. Kirkland would say. See, my thing is, ain't this show about the OGs? See, the show is about the OGs, right? So somebody gotta have guidance above all these group, or what we call them goofballs. Look at this dude doing this, but who guides me? Who is above this guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something that these is great moves for him and us and them, because everybody getting paid, everybody. When you're dealing with that much money,
right?
You feel me?
Right. And
so
just like I was saying, show me some real success stories. Don't show me the dude that make a bunch of money for a couple years, go to prison for a couple, come back, make some more money, go back to prison, you know, don't get to grow up with his kids, you know what I mean? Put a little money into a couple basketball teams or open up a little store. Don't tell me about none of these dudes, all right? This ain't what we talking about. We talking about show us some real success, man, where people going on to be impactful people, surgeons, doctors, people coming back being lawyers for us. Why ain't our public defenders nobody locally that we know that will be defending us in court? You get what I'm saying? Show us some real success stories when we talk about those streets as a myth, you know? And I feel like that until then, you know what I'm saying? Until y'all can show me some real success from the streets, you know what I mean? I'ma still carry on the flag of that the streets is a myth. You feel me, Auggie?
You're my hero.
Hey man, most definitely, because guess what? A guy that almost championed their cause, they killed him. Nipsey Hussle was trying to show you that.
Thank you.
And then guess what? The streets killed him. Or did they? But
God bless the dead, no, for real. God bless the dead, Nipsey Hussle. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know the story of that, but you feel what he's saying, right?
Nipsey was a part of the whole movie that they trying to show you how they moving you around like chess pieces. Especially when you get into certain sectors of certain things, entertainment, sports, you know what I mean? Certain things where it's cats that's sheiks and these cats is multi-gazillionaires. You know what I'm saying? They live in Dubai, but they vacation in Dubai. They really don't live anywhere. They just, you know what I mean? They have stories that people wouldn't even know. How'd you get that money? You know what I mean? People don't ask about motherfuckers who really got the, excuse my language again, but the people who got really, you know what I mean? The real cats. You feel me?
And that makes you wonder, you know?
That's over the reptilians. That's over the Palladians. They're the humans that's dealing with these dudes, but they have the resources online. You know what I mean? And they just, you know what I'm saying? So they like, you know what I'm saying? All this wickedness.
Right.
Under the guise of, this is your culture. World culture. Come on, man. It's whack. But back to the OGs. The OGs ain't even giving the messages that we giving, you know what I mean, right now. See,
exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Talk about what T.I. did and the Whack 100 and they still all they gossipy. These are chatty patties, as my nigga James Dash would say.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's my question. That's my question to you, Auggie. We've been seeing a lot of back and forth going on, you know, from one of the biggest OGs, you know what I mean? And we've seen other situations before with people, and it's like, what's really the message that you're sending? You speaking a message of violence underneath, you know what I mean? Underneath a message of peace. You know what I mean? And anybody can see through that mafia, whatever talk, you know what I mean? But it's like, what is really the message that we sending off, man, as the people looking above? Just really just be like, just carry on the same legacy of, you know, using the people instead of uplifting the people, you know?
Now, can I ask you this? Now, okay, let's keep it all year. Let's keep it let's straight up. All right. Let's do the history on who we deal with, right?
Right.
We dealing with Justice Power, right? Justice Power Senior, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So boom. We're gonna deal with Justice Power Senior.
Right.
So boom. This dude was known as he was Little J first.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? When we first, and you know what I'm saying, he was a prominent producer for one of the iconic groups out of Texas, the Ghetto Boys.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And you know, if you read first album, you know what I mean? Just go back to their first album, and you know, and he always talked on there. He had a good voice, and you know what I'm saying? They always incorporated, and he sounded fly. You know what I'm saying? He always said that hard shit before he sent his kids out to war.
Yeah, he always had his message. He always had his little message on the album.
Yeah, but you know, we don't really know. We don't expect it. How he got his bread. He's a boxing promoter. You know what I mean? He's in the boxing and things like that from, you know, what I peeped. Or, you know what I'm saying, the information I've gathered thus far. You know what I mean? But he's always been an enigma in hip hop on the power that he had and why people treated Jay Prince like he was. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't even talk about it. So you know what I'm saying? They call Suge Knight the boogeyman, but Suge Knight don't even talk to Jay Prince.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bet you Suge Knight look down. You know what I mean? You know, everybody know what the industry is about, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so anyway, you're right. It's always been a prominent dude of, you know, he always been at the head of the table.
Yeah. So with me saying that, now in 2023, just 20th century now. He was doing that in 20th century.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now it's the 21st century, and he's an older cat. Now he's the Don. He was the Don then, he's the Don now. You know what I mean? So now we got his son, you know, pampered, privileged, you know, parochial school, whatever. You know what I mean?
Justice Power Jr.
Yeah, you know, JPJR. You know what I mean? But
JPJ.
Right here, yeah, JPJ. You know what I'm saying? But this cat, he don't got he try to talk like his pop, which it make him sound dumb. he still, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You're like a carbon copy. That's his flavor. Now, if you got a vocabulary, use it how you use it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay, now let me ask you this. Now, what do you do if you're in a situation as a parent to where you come from a certain life, but you advance your life to a whole nother different realm to where your kids don't even grow up in that? They hear about it, but they don't live none of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But in his situation, his dad is like a CEO in the music shit, so he's gonna get the legacy passed on to him in somehow, some way. So he's seen how his father ran it with an iron fist, so he feel like he got to use the same iron fist, when maybe that whole intelligence and all that schooling you went to is probably what you should be using to take your father's legacy on to the next level. Instead, you trying to prove that you and your father is equality. There's an equality between you and your pops when there ain't supposed to be. Your pops elevated you to this level for you to go over there, not to come over here. You know what I mean? So think about that. What do you do with? Because that's what that whole situation just looks like to me. You know what I mean? Because think about it. If we look at, you know, shout out to all these people, man. But if we look at like 50 Cent's son, we look at Supreme's son. You know, they're still up under this umbrella of all these tough guys, man. But it's like, yeah, that's all true, man. But your dad put you through private school your whole life, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's not make it like let's not make it like you was in them cars and you was on them corners out in the snow and you was out in behind these backyards and you know what I mean, getting Auggie. You know what I'm saying? And but see, that's what your parent didn't want. You know, so you should be glad that you didn't have to do any of that. You know what I mean?
Bro. I'm saying.
That's just what I see. Like, I mean, because look, I feel like this situation is where Pop's it's getting so ugly to where his Pop's got to step up and speak now because anything that's coming out of his son's mouth ain't nobody believing it. It ain't holding no weight right now. You know?
Bro,
and then they did it on the biggest platform. What do you think about that? They did it on one of the biggest podcast platforms out. And I know that they deal with the streets, you know what I mean? Because I watch them a lot, and I know that they like to feel like they tapped into the streets, and they like to resolve stuff, and they like to let people speak their word. Well, then, if that's the case, you got to bring the boy on next. We need to see the boys. We need to see the boy on up next. You know,
that ain't gonna happen, and they don't need to see that because guess what? That only adds to the glass menagerie smoke and mirror show. That is what we on right here. You know
so that's what I'm asking you. So that's what I'm asking you. Now it got like 1 million. It's got like 1.5 million views. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying they did it for the views. I'm not saying they did it for the views. But what I'm saying is, do you sacrifice the chance that this could blow up for everybody for the opportunity to go viral on your platform?
At what expense?
That's what I'm saying. Because we don't know where this could go. Obviously, now we see the back and forth going right to the internet, to where now we seen, you know, Quavo and Offset fought backstage.
Right.
Because you can't tell me this was just about rapping on a song, man. I think this got to do with Jay Prince and them coming into this, the arguments back and forth, and Offset speaking out when Quavo's been being quiet. They the only ones that spoke out about anything. The rest of the family been quiet. I feel like that's part of the whole altercation. It ain't just about coming on stage.
But then you gotta look at it like this too. All right, so everybody talk about the music industry and how it's set up, but don't I believe it, right? Yeah. Like fraternities and sororities and shit. Right? These are all right. And with that being said, those that are in secret societies know that you have to do some things that question, some things, so everybody got something on everybody. You know what I mean? So boom, so bang. So y'all rituals to get in that is, I don't know what it is, but I bet you it's questionable at best. But whatever.
yeah.
Pizza, whatever. How powerful? That's wild. Yeah, I lied. You know what I'm saying? I was never, a fan of not being with the tribe. I love the whole tribe. I don't love you because you got the cut on. I love you because you and your energy is going high. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See, this is the OG office, and this is what I was taught by the OGs. See, the OG show is, where the OGs at? The OGs is the cat that's keeping it real from the lineage of the ancestors that came before them, that came before them. They always spoke that positive message on how to live on this earth and don't have to live with deceit and don't have to live with the wildness. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have to go to jail.
Right. Now we did a podcast. Now we did a show. Make sure y'all tap into the Auggie Auggivelli playlist on Auggie TV. Make sure y'all get up in there, and shout out to everybody who has. It's bubbling for real. But anyway, we did a show called "Is Checking In." Does checking in equal your safety? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like this whole situation with them is all about the checking in and you safe with me. Don't we forget? Only reason they were even there was for a birthday party. Wasn't no show. Wasn't no check involved. Wasn't none of that involved. Just a favor, pretty much. It was to an end. But if you think about the episode, that we did, it's like this. Who can honestly sit there and tell you that they can control the mind and actions of every single person in their city? It's a ridiculous. It's an illusion, and that's another episode. We got illusions. Check out that episode. This is an illusion that people want to believe, and it's like if you want to believe that, you shouldn't be somebody that's moving around across the country and around the world anyway. If you feel like you got to go through these avenues to be able to touch other soils and other lands, man, and then get up out of there, you need assistance on how to move and things like that, man. Maybe you shouldn't be somebody that's doing all that type of moving, man. If you ask me.
Yeah. If you don't feel comfortable on the planet Earth, I mean, be
exactly.
Sensible.
Thank you.
Don't
Thank
be
you.
Around. You just land somewhere and go for dupe, and I'm gonna be me. And you don't know the culture, you don't know the style, you don't know what's going on. You have to have someone to guide you around. You put the guy in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? And don't go nowhere you don't know nobody. That's weird. Because anything can happen to you, and nobody know what the fuck happened to you. Excuse my language, but I'm passionate about. You know what I mean? This is the OG show, right?
Right.
So this is what the babies need to know. But this is what these guys are saying, like go wherever and flashing money and you know what I mean? Be a Vic. You know what I mean?
Right.
And go ahead, man. Get on out there. And then somebody do something to you, you better do something back. You should. But then cats always talking about the violence that these young boys are doing. But you got cats that's fucking excuse my language, man. But this is just you know what I'm saying? This is just so.
Have they ever told them any different? Have they, they talk about their actions, but have you ever taught them any different?
That's exactly. See, my thing is this. Everybody talk about how wild these young people are. My thing is, who raised you? You know what I mean? What values were you given by your OGs? You know what I mean?
Right.
See, hey, the Auggie is the only, right? So I've been on this planet by myself since I got here. You dig? I had to learn from everything around me. And you know what I'm saying? You gotta just, which goes back to one of our other episodes.
Yeah.
Who controls your brain? Who controls your brain? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Me controlling my own brain, you know what I mean, and myself, which you have knowledge of. If you don't have knowledge of yourself, you don't have nothing out here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And all I say is that's what the iGod TV is about.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We ain't sensationalizing all that weird stuff. Hey, Prince, in my humble, respectful opinion, hey man, come on, man. How you gonna threaten this?
And you know what? And that's what we just talked about. That's why I wanted to show that plus degree that we showed at the beginning of the show.
Okay? No doubt.
It says right there in the degree that is the light is incubant inside each one of us. Okay? To be found and brought out. You know what I mean? To be seeked on by each other. Okay? So everything we've been saying is what we've been saying. You have to inside, the change has to come from the inside. It has to be done by us. It has to be done by the people. You get what I'm saying? That's why I brought that whole plus degree out, because I knew that I felt like it was going to pertain to the whole message that we've been talking about tonight. You know what I mean? And shout out to Brother Melchizedek, you know what I mean? And for people who've never tapped into these are the type of lessons that we read and we research. We take those lessons and we pertain them to what we have going on today and how we can move today. You know what I mean? And that's the whole message of the OG. The OG is the answer to the question. You get what I'm saying? So when we was looking at the lessons, you saw the question and you saw the answer. Okay, so the question is coming from the youth. You get what I'm saying? Or so to speak. The answer should be coming from you. And it should be logical, and it should be truth, justice and equality, you know what I mean? And it should be these type of messages to uplift the kids from the experiences that you have had on your time on this planet. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes, and even if you know something, because even if you've been to prison 3, 4 times, no disrespect to anybody that's been down, you know what I mean? But what in your mind is telling you that your nephews and your nieces and your kids and things like that, to where that same exact thing that got you into prison should be what they should be doing next, because I've been around guys to where they pass it right on.
Hey man, but you know what?
And they weren't even there to even raise their own kids from being behind the bars for so long. You know what I mean? So at what point do we break that chain and create a new dialogue between us and the youngins that's moving around? You know what I mean?
Right.
But the messaging, man. Change the messaging, man. The dialogue, like we said, we was each one teach one. We was each one teach one when we was getting taught by the older gods, what we call OGs now, but older gods teaching us a certain knowledge. Each one teach one, meaning it was free. Come get this wisdom. We here for you at all times. Now the game is to be sold, not to be told. Change the narrative, just like we said.
Hey, but then think about it like this. That goes back to the division. Back in one of our other episodes, we talked about how simple it was. It was about what? 4 degrees. Right?
Yep.
Easy Latin.
What's the 4 degrees, God? What's the 4 degrees?
In mathematics, you're going to add on, you're going to subtract, you're going to multiply, you're going to divide. You know what I mean? So with that being said, and taking that to interpersonal and universal understanding, as my man Rashad Jamal would say. And hey, I ain't gonna lie, if you have it, I gotta big up this guy, man, because this guy is Rashad Jamal. Bro, look him up. He hot for real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but anyway, like you were saying, even if you look at add, subtracting, divide, and multiply, right? The only way they all go together also, to where only way you can multiply is only if you already been adding on.
Well, actually,
multiplication is enhanced addition. Okay, same way as division is enhanced subtraction. All right. So if you out here constantly subtracting, it's gonna do nothing but create the division at some point.
You're my hero.
If you in your house taking everything away, your friends, and you just taking things from everybody, or just not adding anything to the situation, it's gonna turn into a divide. If you add on to the situation, if you add on every day, if you adding things to your life, if you bring in new energy and new things into your life, it turns into multiplication. You get what I'm saying? They call it the quickening. If you read these books, Quran, any of these books, they talk about the quickening. You get what I'm saying? That's the multiplication, but you got to already be adding. You get what I'm saying? You got to already be adding, Go ahead,
hold up. What's crazy on what you just said? It's called the quickening, right? So guess what? So as gods, right, we walk as the Highlanders, because there can only be one. And guess what? If you ever watch the movie, whatever Highlander series, what do they call when you take the hand of the devil? The quickening.
Yep.
Where you get the energy, where it comes into you, and then you become stronger, and then you keep going. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's the OGs, because the OGs taught you how to kill them one day.
Yeah, boy.
Because the knowledge should be spread. It's not hoarded. That's what the OGs are. The older you get, you should be giving it. You don't know how long, people don't know how long they're going to be there. So when you get to be a certain age,
you're right.
What you do is you spread the knowledge. That's why when you have, the people who have children at young ages, it's circumstance, I would say. Because, you can put your gig and, what I'm saying? We had Jimmy have traffic.
And that goes back, but that goes back to another, that goes back to the saying of, what are you really teaching? What are you really putting out there as real success stories? You know what I mean? these ain't success stories, my G. You know what I mean? These ain't success stories that you see in people, you know, and you seeing things and you seeing how people's lives is going, or you seeing them on Instagram and you seeing things like that. That's only what they want you to see so you can feel like they got an upper hand on where life's going. You know what I'm saying?
You're my hero.
That's some smoke and mirror show shit, man. You know what I mean? I'll tell you like this. Okay. That's as easy as you on the internet right now, right?
Right.
You can put any background you want to on the internet.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
But what the focus is not the background. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. All right, let's say this. We're gonna sit back and jump into a little time bubble right now.
Okay.
Okay. I want the listeners, everybody, to imagine this. We here in 2023 right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Close your eyes and imagine how you are in 2030, 7 years later. We don't know if it's gonna look like this right here.
At all.
Because it doesn't look like it did 20 years ago.
At all.
It doesn't look like it did in your heyday, my heyday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So things are constantly changing. So, you know, we're dealing with numbers all the time because everything is always going to add or subtract, multiply, and divide in its own natural sense. Mm-hmm. But if you add to it in the human equation or in the experience equation, you feel me?
Right.
Why would you want to be a part of the negative as an older person, knowing because people are bitter? You know what I'm saying? I like this. When I was coming up,
you didn't get that. You didn't get that. You didn't get that imaginary. You didn't get that imaginary success that you thought you should have had, which was really an illusion from the very beginning.
Man, look, I was just gonna say, when I was coming up, man, that's when the auto industry was in our area, and everybody is the steel mills and all that was popping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm talking about the car industry was our area was popping. And Cassie, if you worked there and you was like young, relative, you was getting bread. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So boom. At that time they had some things that was legal called nepotism. You can bring your brother in, you can bring your friends in, and you know, just because they knew you, they can get a job. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's still prevalent right now, but it's more secret. It's more secret. You feel me?
Yeah.
Depending on who is who and all that. You know what I mean? Doctor Who and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language again. You know what I mean? That was kind of how. Hey, that was a half a bar right there. You know, but it's recognized. Hey. Oh no, I'm saying because I'm joshing and shit talking, but the OGs, man, just get back to just how I'm kicking it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm sure we get together and they see the EPMD. You know what I'm saying? The you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Now think about something. Think about something that you said. Think about something that you said on the last pod, man, about how a lot of them. They feel like the dream ain't over yet, so they ain't got nothing to say to the youngins because it's like anything they got to say to the youngins is get out my way because I'm still on my journey.
Well, I mean, not only that, but they gonna say it like, what you talking about is I'm gonna big up me and you. You know what I'm saying? See, some cats want to be on the end of the comment. Because they know the comment is right there. You know what I mean? You used to be the head comment. You know what I mean? Or you on and it didn't work out like that. And it probably worked out like that to your people. You know what I mean? Because what we thought it was, it really ain't. The music business ain't what you think it is. You know what I mean? And now we in a time when you listen to whatever you want to listen to if you look for it. But you know what I'm saying? You have to looking for the shit. You know what I mean? But the shit they put to you is all WWF.
Right.
Anybody to get to any of these majors is all going through a system, a fraternity, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they gon', you gonna get down and lay down. And most of these guys get down the money. You know what I mean?
Yo, when you see, even when you see animals or any of that shit like that, man, when the males is around and the youngest and the things, they growling, scratching, doing shit, hunting, doing all kind of shit, whatever, even me myself, you know what I mean? When I get around my nephew, nothing crazy, but just a little roughness, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just man energy. You got to get that man energy of how it's going to be for men. You know what I mean? And then that's just how you just carry it on, You got
to transfer that. See, that's the transference of energy. When you sit back showing them style, showing them tactics, like, no, you don't do it like that. You got to do it like this. You feel me?
Exactly.
And then you teach.
And a lot of them don't get that because we can't take away from the fact, that a lot of dudes don't even take the time to even put that actual type of time in with a kid, a nephew, son, whoever it may be. You know what I mean? To prepare them for anything like that. You know what I mean? So some of them don't even know what that type of energy is like till they get to prison or, in the streets or whatever.
They take, right. And you said it. They went to the bag. It's all for the bag. You feel me?
Yeah.
The bag is more important than everything. You know what I mean? Your family. So now, when they say money is the root of all evil, that's not how it goes. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. So a cat with his whole family, you know what I'm saying? So they can say they got the bag and they can, you know what I mean? They can have whatever they got on and all that. You know what I mean? And then tell the babies, or show the babies, they ain't got to tell the babies, right? Because they're going to make sure that, anything left in this is bumminess. It's dusty. You feel me?
Right.
If you ain't like this, you know what I'm saying? And then they got those, the little stories from the 90s where stuff was really bad and cats was really doing heinous stuff to people for the money. You know what I'm saying? They glorify that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And recycle.
When them days are obviously those days are over. You know what I'm saying? Then another thing I wanted to talk about too, there's another point about, a lot of we got to touch the fact that there's a lot of the jobs and a lot of the opportunities that were there, even when our grandparents and fathers and uncles was around, that wasn't around for us. And they definitely ain't around for our kids either. You know what I mean? But at the same time, when you really look at it though, it was really just the lower level, you know what I mean, robotic jobs anyway, the factories, the plant, you know what I mean? The things like that anyway. The technical, the technical, the engineering, the medical, you know what I mean? Them type of jobs are out there, man. The financial, especially, you know what I mean? Things like that, real estate companies, all these things like that, you know what I mean? You can dive into, man, and make these things work for you, man, and make it a career and become prosperous. You know what I mean? You seeing these things going away, and it looks like a bad thing because that's the wave we're caught in. That's the skills we were left with. We seeing those deteriorate. You know what I mean? But the new skills are out there, and when you got the chance to get the education, got the chance to soak in that new knowledge and the new technology and the way the world is about to turn towards, it's going to give you that head start to get where you need to be and to be able to have your sword sharp, you know what I mean, when it's time to stand on the front line. You feel me, Auggie?
No, man, most definitely. Hey, but the whole thing of it is the first of it is you have to be dedicated to do something other than what is easy and what is everybody else is doing. If you have a talent in something, you know what I'm saying? No matter what nobody says, if you don't think they don't think you're cool or what, and you might be a nerd or whatever, Man,
that's key.
Hey,
that's
guess
key.
what? Everybody
that's
got
key,
the same
man.
uniform. That's the problem.
That's right.
Everybody
No,
trying to
that's
look the
key.
same.
That's a key
Everybody
point
trying to
because
look
if
like
you look at it,
thugs.
I don't
But
want to cut you. I
you
don't
know what
want
I'm
to cut your
saying?
wisdom off, but
And
if you
trying to
look
put
at
their
it,
actions to
that's a key point because the whole a easier way or the fast we used to call it the fast life. Shout out to the underworld, but that easy pass, what I mean, through life that was an illusion that we thought was real because we've seen a few people generate for a short period of time. You know what I mean? That was that was good bait to just, all right, well, look, do I want to continue to go to school, go through all this just to get this, or do I want to go ahead outside right now and take a chance to get it right now? You know what I mean? And a lot of people took that chance to try to get it right now, and some may have say they succeeded, but even the guys you see out here on these channels and these pods, shout out and mad love to them. You know what I mean? And they made it through. They still alive. I don't know. Not many of them still have any money, but some that might still. You know what I mean? That's just, you might see just the money part of that side of it, but ask them, did they raise their kids? You know what I mean? Ask them, did they, was they there for any weddings? Ask them, was they there for any funerals for their mothers and fathers and grandparents, any of that? You know what I mean?
right.
Ask them any of that. For people who want to say the streets are, there's codes and there's things like that. Yeah, that may be true, but talk about the real life of following them codes, where you go sit down for 30 years because you don't snitch. And now you don't see your daughter get married, your mother, your father buried, grandparents. You know what I mean? Things happen in your life where you behind the wall the whole time. You know what I'm saying, Auggie?
And now the whole thing of it is if you are doing things that can get you behind the walls, the code is you keep your mouth shut. So now you gotta go behind the walls and just take that. You gotta take that because you chose the life. You know what I mean? And you knew what the consequences was, and you took roll the dice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you still
Shout out
gotta
to
keep
you.
the code as well as the integrity of you signed up for. That ain't got nothing to do with your base. That ain't got
When
nothing
real
to do with
life kick in.
moms.
Yeah, that got nothing to do when real
Hey
life
man,
kick in.
you chose that shit. You feel me?
Yep.
And that's the whole thing. Cats want to sit back and be like, "Oh, I had to do this." Well, you did. I can do that. But did you do it and everybody benefited? You know what I mean? And you
Right.
did it to the point to where everybody was eating like, nah. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, that's another
When
good
you could have
question.
had it all, or do you have it all and you riding real nice and cats are still, you know what I'm saying? Your
Right.
team still in the trenches looking crazy.
Right. That's another good question. It's like,
You know.
do you even feel like a lot of dudes is even in the streets over necessity anymore? I feel like it ain't even about cause I had to anymore. I feel like it's just cause that's the thing. That's the vibe. That's the wave. You know what I mean? That's what make you feel like you separate from everybody. You know what I mean? And all that. And to me, it don't even look like, because our parents told us no, we ain't had no money. We was going to the store with food stamps and things like how we used to. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
Now you probably didn't even have to. Your mom got you driving around, and you driving your mom's Lexus truck, trapping. You know what I mean? She at the hospital.
Right.
Y'all in a nice crib. Using this little
See?
money she gave you to come in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, look, man.
Disrespectful.
Yo,
Disrespectful. For
yo,
the
I can't
mask. Hey, the
name.
mask could make you. Hey, yo, the mask. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
These G's that these young boys that put the mask on. You know what I mean? Mask
Right.
on, mask off. Nah, man. You gotta come with your energy all the time, man. And that's you. You know what I mean? If you ain't about whatever, well, come on, man.
Mhm.
Why would you want to teach the babies to be deceitful?
Man.
Because one day
It's a
you gonna
kid.
be
It's a kid I saw. It's a kid I saw that's locked up right now. His parents had money. His mom was like an accountant. His dad was like a marketing genius, and they had money, man. But they was from the neighbor. They wasn't from the neighborhood, but they lived by the neighborhood. You know what I mean? And he would take the Benz and drive to the neighborhood, drive the dudes around, gang members, making friends in the hood and everything like that. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, he got the Benz. They doing the robbery, go crazy. Somebody get killed. He get locked up. Now he in prison. You know what I'm saying? It's like that ain't necessity to me. That ain't doing that street. Them dudes. Not even saying them other dudes had to do it by necessity, but maybe they felt like it because of the area they were in. But this other kid coming from a suburban area, you know what I mean, just to blend in and feel like, oh man, all right, I ain't normal, or I want to be respected by these dudes who are in a cycle of losing. You know what I mean? Why you want to jump over to the losing side and say, hey, I could be a loser. I could lose in this game too. We gonna jump from the winning team, hop on the losing team.
And I'll tell you this, and any young suburban kid, you gotta, if you gonna jump off into some stuff that you ain't really dealing with, you know what I mean? You can get around some good people. See, that's where what's the nice the OGs. See, an OG is gonna see a cat that's greener than cucumber skin and be like, this dude is way out of his element. You feel me? Ain't gonna at least get you, a couple quarters, you know what I'm saying, for your mind. You know what I mean? At least get you a token, you know what I'm saying, onto the right path. You did. You know what I'm saying? Or you can get around some OGs that may be pedophiles, maybe smokehead, maybe, but whatever you nices come to, you gonna get what you came for. That's like, you start the fight with the dude, you like, oh, I think I can whoop him. Hey man, you might know he was waiting on that all day. He's waiting on somebody to be like, boy, I can't wait for a cat to be like, let's set it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because some OGs,
once again,
some OGs, like we said, they might be in a position to where they're honestly just looking for that opportunity, and they might find that youth that could do a few things or get away with a few things that they might not be able to. Like us, we came up in an era to where, they would give the older people would give the products to the younger people. You know what I mean? Because the penalties was less when it came to the police. You know what I mean? And the court system. You know what I mean? So it's like you might even run into OG that like he said, the age don't make you an OG. You know what I mean? Because like we said, we run into those kind that'll just use you. You know what I mean? As opportunity also. You know what I mean? Instead of with people like how we come in as using this as an opportunity to show you how to evolve through this matrix. You get what I mean?
No, hey, and that goes back to when we talking about what's going on with the takeoff, you know what I'm saying, situation. And we talk about your boy, your man, the OG, right?
Yeah.
Now what he doing, he on some Debo. He like, man, you better quit talking about that's my son. You know that's my son. As you blowing it up, you should leave it alone.
Right.
But people they miss us too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're in the history books also. Like you said. I know you don't want to believe that, but the younger generation are gonna Migos, but now they're cemented like the Beatles. They say it was the Black Beatles, and now this is cemented.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And for the lure, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's going out in the area of the same garbage that they promote.
Exactly.
A fight breaks out. Bang, bow, bow. Oh, take off. Bow, bow. Somebody else, Come on, man.
Right. And look, you notice when we did the checking in pod, do you remember when we were saying like I was wondering why on the mural, not the mural, but the thing when they put the flowers out in front of where it happened at the crime scene, they said let it slide. You know what I mean? Like everywhere it was written, let it slide. You know what I mean? And now you're seeing how obviously somebody ain't letting it slide, or they can't agree on letting it slide, and it's starting to spill over. It seems like.
Hey, once again, now we got a public service announcement from Auggie Auggivelli. All right, let it slide. We got slimes and slides. See what happened to the slime king? Slime king, you know what I'm saying, went from, you know what I'm saying, getting boob jobs and having fun, and now he fighting for his life, and everybody then turned on him.
Yeah.
Rico joints. And we don't even know what that's really about, but to, to be continued. Now, then we got the sliders, ride, slipping and sliding. Okay, everything is about sliding on. Why don't you sliding on the oppressor? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you slide on the cat that's making your bills high? Why you sliding on the cat that you know you ain't got a couple more dollars than you? But I understand everybody got ego. You know what I'm saying? And the OGs, these OGs taught you to, you know what I'm saying, not let cooler heads prevail. Man, you better go ahead and, you know, they AWACS. This AWACS. Oh, I get it. This is AWACS in innocent society. I get it. Hold on. I get the narrative now.
Yeah.
You feel me, God?
Right.
Now, don't you see? They're making it all play out. They're taking it all the way back to
That's right. You know what? I was watching a show with my kids, man. Sometimes we watching, you know, an older movie like that. And there was one South Central where the dude that got out of prison, you know, he had went to prison, and when he got out, you know what I mean? He had a kid, and his wife was, you know, doing some things, and he was trying to get his life together. He couldn't get a job because he just got out. The only way he could do something was try to get with this gang, and then they had all this beef, and you know he got caught up in the whole mix. You know what I mean? To where his kid ended up getting into the same gang, you know, and shot in the back and then paralyzed. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, when you're seeing the cycle and when you're seeing how things go, even when you watch the Boys in the Hood, you know, Boys in the Hood, the kid Ricky was the football star, you know, and didn't necessarily have nothing to do with whatever was going in the street. The brother, Doughboy, shout out to Ice Cube, was the one that was in the street, you know, but then look who ended up paying the consequences, you know what I mean, for the whole thing at the end of the movie. You know what I mean? The kid was on getting a scholarship, getting ready to go to college, you know what I mean? And the streets didn't have no mercy on what he had going, where his future was headed, or any of them situations like that at all. You know what I mean? So, you know, we would appreciate everybody that's been tapping in, checking out the Auggie and the Auggivelli. You know what I mean? We've been having great discussions, man. You know what I mean? And I hope we all just pass on the narrative and you know, continue to elevate.
On behalf of the OGs,
Spread the word to the people. You know what I mean? That it really needs to go to, and the ones that we know that is really gonna sink in. You know, that can be the part of the movement, because at the end of the day, you know what I mean. The you know, the crown got to be passed on. You know what I mean? The torches got to be passed on, man. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's one of the reasons why I make sure we document these conversations and things, because it's like, we can't have it come to some point to where this type of evidence and these type of discussions, these type of things ain't being presented, you know, and left as evidence for people to really tap into and know how to really, you know, move around and how they set this world up. You get me?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like the whole reason you got to leave the evidence behind, because where's the torch even really gonna go? You know what I mean? We know we ain't gonna touch the whole masses. You know what I mean? We want to touch as many people as we can, but you know you can't save everybody. But the ones that we can touch, we want to build them up as strong as we can. You know what I mean? So that way they can be able to do these same type of things, even more advanced than us. You know, not on our level, just like we were saying earlier. It ain't about mastering our level. It's about mastering your level, taking what you take from us and mastering it in your level and taking that on to the next generation. You get what I'm saying?
You're my hero.
Yeah.
For real, man.
Because,
you know,
because if you really think about it, bro, when you getting your degrees of anything, when you rising in anything, right? It's a culmination of how long you've done it, mixed with your experience within doing it.
Right.
So a person that's doing something 20 years has seen every single nook and cranny how to do it, to the point to where they can create, you know what I'm saying, a variation of doing the same thing that everything's doing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's being done, if you will.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what the OG is supposed to say. The older guards are supposed to, you know, trickle down the best parts. See, we become the understanding baby so they can get the knowledge, you know what I mean? To they can gain wisdom. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So they can have understanding, so they can go up the number ladder, so they can see what's born, and then walk through the cipher again. You know what I mean? Because we all started as zero.
Right. It's all based off experience, you know. It's all based off experience because it's like, look, you could have went to the military, you know what I'm saying? But you could have just been you could have just been a cook. You could have just been in the crowd, you know what I'm saying? You could have been in the rear with the gear, so to speak, okay? You didn't have to be on the front lines and really experience the war, you know what I mean? So it ain't even about how old you are or if you're from some type of area or however it is. It's the experience that you had in that. And if you see somebody taking on that same path where you ended up suffering severe consequences, you know, you should be the one, you know what I mean, to step in and try to, you know, convince them, you know, to go otherwise, man, to not follow down that same path. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, that's the whole problem. Well, I ain't gonna say problem. That's the sickness going around today. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to add on to misery instead of trying to find the medicine so everybody can take the inoculation. They'd rather take the jib jab than take, you know what I'm saying, sound common sense. Came together by a think tank of everybody that want to feel everybody should be all right. You know
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I say like this. If you're the type of person that look around and see harm to somebody, you know what I mean, for whatever reason, unless they, you know, other than they did something to you, and you kind of sick because why would you want to live in peace and just chill like everybody else? Everybody get a chance to chill. You know, see, one thing about old people, people was irritated by this behavior that's going on. Oh man. See, when we was younger and it was OGs, the old folks they gonna sit back and call the police. You know what? You are disrupting the peace sanctity of, you know what I mean? Well, you ain't doing whatever you doing quiet enough. Let's say that. You disrupting somebody's peace or you victimizing somebody and, you know, take that out there with the young people land. You know what I mean? But now in young people land, everybody's involved. But the OGs ain't telling these guys how to move. If you're supposed to be a master, whatever you are, and you got young dudes behind you, everything's supposed to be safe, secure, and you know, however it's supposed to be. But all that destruction shouldn't be to the civilians.
They shouldn't be, you shouldn't look at them as expendables. You know what I mean?
Right.
You shouldn't look at them as expendable. You should look at them as something that should just be thrown away or just used, you know.
These is your sons and daughters.
Used for your own advancement. You know what I mean? And that's the message that we wanted to put out here tonight. You know what I mean? Is the change the dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Change the messaging. You know what I mean? Also, you know, change the frequency in your mind when it comes to how you see somebody that's coming up behind you. You know what I mean? Use them failures as a lesson. You know what I mean? To also take the avenues that you're going to go down now. You know what I mean? To show them some type of progression or show them that there is other avenues besides how they see everybody else doing things. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for the Auggie and for the Auggie and for the Auggivelli, you know what I mean? I want to thank everybody that came up in the building tonight. You know what I mean? Make sure you tap in with us on Twitch, 11th_house. Make sure you get with us on TikTok. Shout out to everybody over there. You know what I mean? iGod TV. You know, make sure you tap in, follow John Scruggs on Facebook. Make sure you follow Aquarian Mind on Instagram. You know what I mean? And make sure you just keep subscribing, sharing, liking the videos, man, and pass the dialogue around, you know what I mean, through the family, through the neighborhood, man, or especially the people that you care about the most. You know, so if nothing else, they could use it as a few tools or just keep the message rolling. You know what I'm saying? So we want to thank everybody for being in the building tonight. You know what I mean? It's Auggie and the Auggivelli. You want to say something real quick before we get out of here, Auggie?
Hey, you know, I want to say a shout out to all the people in the Auggie verse. Of course, the Auggivelli, you know what I'm saying? My man is conducting the train real crazy on the Great Space Coaster. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm the porter, letting y'all cats know that, come on, man. The OGs is here for you. Is actually supposed to be here to energize you. All that infight. Learn from cats that's older than you if they something to say. If they don't, get away from them folks, man. Cause they trying to take you to misery. They trying to live a second childhood. Don't let them do it. They're gonna suck your energy. They're energy vampires.
That's right,
Don't
God.
let them
That's
get
right.
you into that bullshit. You know what I'm
That's right.
saying? If a cat ain't trying to show you a different way to do shit that you ain't know and show you shit, give you a shrink, give you, what I'm saying? Hey man,
Right.
the streets is a myth. Don't listen to no OG that's sending you to the streets, flat out.
That's right.
That's my message. You know what I mean?
Right. If that's
That's
the
the
direction
knowledge.
they pointing you into, they the wrong one
Yeah.
to be around. You know what I mean?
Or
So
if the
once
message they
again,
talking about is that.
right. So once again, shout out to the family. You know what I mean? Make sure you subscribing to iGod TV. Make sure you tapping in with us on the other platforms, man. We're gonna keep rocking and rolling. We're gonna keep dividing. We're gonna keep dividing, adding, subtracting, bringing everything together till we get the right equations, man, inside this matrix, man, the right formula to show y'all how to slither through this, man, and get to where you need to be, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to the baby.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody that's watching. Shout out to the big Auggie. You know what I mean? This is Born Bill Universal,
Auggie.
transmitter of supreme science on Earth and the universe. And this is iGod TV. Peace.